I was reborn as a common house sparrow, but because I inherited my father's muscle weakness. I would faint every time I tried to evolve, interrupting the process right then and there. And so, everyone treated me like trash. But when the school idol, blessed with god-tier talent, laid eyes on me for the first time, she decided to contract me right then and there. Her classmates laughed their heads off, mocking her for contracting a fainting chicken. Even the stray dogs in the yard could pluck my feathers bare. However, the school idol couldn't care less. Having been reborn herself, she knew that being a beast tamer burned through way too much cash. You see, in her past life, she drained every single penny of her parents' savings, just to raise a thunderbolt tiger with a level 40 potential. Later on, during a freak accident, she stumbled upon a Sword Immortal emblem. She awakened her second class, Sword Immortal, and reached level 90 in a mere 10 years. Sadly, she just didn't have enough time. When the level 100 monsters invaded, she was utterly powerless to stop them. Now, she had been reborn right alongside that Sword Immortal emblem. She needed to focus absolutely all her energy on her Sword Immortal class. And as for me, a measly house sparrow, she never planned on spending a dime to train me. I was just kept around as a fun little pet. But what no one knew was that the very second she formed a contract with me, I unexpectedly awakened the god-tier Devour system. As long as I eat, I grow stronger. This tiny little pheasant is destined to become a blazing phoenix that everyone looks up to. Meanwhile, Mi Kai carried me home. She hurriedly wolfed down a couple bites of bread and sat cross-legged on the couch, ready to fuse with the Sword Immortal emblem. To awaken her second class, almost as an afterthought, she poured the cheapest, lowest-grade beast food from her pocket into a small bowl on the table. The moment I saw the food, I lunged into the bowl and started gobbling it down like crazy. Who cares if it's low-grade trash? If it gives me evolution points, it's good stuff. Suddenly, a system notification exploded in my head. Ding! Devoured low-grade beast king black bristle boar minced meat. Ding! Current evolution points have met the requirement for your first evolution. Would you like to begin evolving immediately? Without a second thought, my mind already screamed the answer. Yes. A scalding wave of heat instantly exploded inside me, surging through my veins and flooding my entire body. Along with this melting warmth, a sickeningly familiar wave of dizziness struck me. Oh crap, it's my congenital muscle weakness acting up. Last time, this exact wave of dizziness completely ruined my evolution, making me the laughingstock of the whole academy. I gritted my teeth and forcefully pushed through that room-spinning wave of nausea. I buried my head deep into the sofa, claws digging in fiercely, and somehow survived the entire evolution process. Right after Mi Kai fused the emblem into her body, she turned and saw me curled up on the couch. She gently rubbed her forehead and teased with a smirk. Wow, eating and then immediately passing out? You really live up to the name of a house sparrow. But very quickly, she noticed something was wrong. The energy inside my body was surging wildly at a visible rate, and a faint, shimmering evolution aura wrapped around me. Is he actually evolving? She muttered under her breath, though her mind instinctively shot the idea down. The racial limit for a common bird like the dustfluff sparrow is permanently locked. No matter how it evolves, it can't possibly make any real waves. Time slipped away quietly. 2 hours later, I finally woke up from the afterglow of my evolution, and immediately opened up my system panel. Species, House Sparrow. Level, 1. Talent, Big Eater. The only bummer was that my species hadn't changed at all yet. It really gave me a headache. Just as I was feeling totally bummed out, Mi Kai gently picked me up and set me on her shoulder. While slipping on her shoes at the door, she yelled into the house. Mom, Dad, the school's novice realm is opening today, so I'm taking Gun to join in. As soon as the words left her mouth, she closed the door behind her and left. Inside, her parents exchanged a look, their faces filled with undeniable anxiety and worry. You don't think our little girl will get hurt, do you? That house sparrow, Gun, is just way too weak. He probably couldn't even beat a level 1 monster. The old couple let out a heavy sigh, blaming themselves for not providing their daughter with enough resources. Unable to even afford a decent pet beast for her. Realizing we were heading to the novice realm, a massive wave of excitement washed over me, even though no one else had a clue yet. But I knew the truth. Mi Kai was a reincarnated badass rocking a Sword Immortal crest, the absolute peak of dual-class fighters. With that kind of firepower by my side, what the hell did I have to worry about? When the time came, she'd do all the heavy lifting and slaughter the monsters, while I'd just chill, munch on the monster corpses, and level up without lifting a finger. Now that is the ultimate dream team. First things first, Mi Kai took me to the gear shop. She didn't even blink as she dropped over $3,000 on a solid steel longsword. After that, we hopped on the school bus and headed straight for the beginner dungeon entrance. A huge crowd of students was already buzzing around. It was a massive, chaotic scene, but right at that moment, a downright sickening voice echoed from a few feet away. "Oh wow, Mi Kai. Did you seriously form a pact with this pathetic little chicken?" The guy flapping his gums was G Boda. He was the academy's notorious rich kid. His dad was a big shot tier 4 beast tamer in the city. He patted the shadow direwolf next to him, showing off with this incredibly smug look on his face. My old man dropped a fortune on this shadow direwolf. It's got level 58 potential. It could swallow a dozen of your trashy little sparrows in a single bite. He gave Mi Kai a super sleazy look and wiggled his eyebrows. "Tell you what, be my girlfriend, and I'll carry you through the dungeon. I guarantee you'll snag first place without a scratch. How about it? Give it some thought." A flash of bone-chilling ice swept through Mi Kai's eyes. In her past life, this exact same scumbag, G Boda, got so butthurt over being rejected that he actually tricked her parents into a high-risk dungeon. They were brutally ripped apart by monsters, not even leaving intact bodies behind. But in this life, she was never going to let him off the hook. This beginner dungeon was going to be his freaking graveyard. "Save your breath, G Boda." Mi Kai flicked her wrist, aiming the tip of her blade straight between his eyes. Sitting on her shoulder, I puffed up my feathers and chirped furiously at that bastard and his overgrown mutt. Sure, I had just finished my first evolution and couldn't take on that direwolf yet. But hey, revenge is a dish best served cold, and I was petty enough to serve it all day long. Just wait until I evolve a few more times. I'm gonna chew that stupid wolf down to the bone. Just as I was starting to worry Mi Kai might do something rash, the lead teacher's voice suddenly cut through the heavy tension. "All classes, line up properly and enter the dungeon." Mi Kai immediately sheathed her sword and turned to join the line. She knew her current stats weren't high enough to casually wipe G Boda out in front of everyone. After all, his dad was a tier 4 beast tamer with some serious connections. She'd just have to collect on this blood debt slowly, with interest. The moment Mi Kai stepped through the dungeon's portal, a wave of intense dizziness hit me. When I finally opened my eyes, we were deep inside a gloomy, twisted forest. A whole pack of spiky, dog-like monsters was charging straight at us, teeth bared. Spike hounds, level 2, skill, spike charge. Nope, absolutely no way I could fight them. I immediately flew up to a nearby branch, clearing the battlefield for Mi Kai. Are you kidding me? With a reincarnated sword immortal powerhouse right here, I didn't have to lift a single feather. I just had to wait and loot the bodies. Mi Kai's eyes locked onto her targets. Gripping her longsword, she vanished in a blur and dived straight into the pack. Flashes of cold steel lit up the dark, followed by a chorus of agonized squeals. In mere seconds, over a dozen spike hounds were dead on the ground, completely lifeless. A brilliant golden glow erupted around her. Boom, she had instantly shot up to level 2. Watching all of this, I couldn't help but be blown away. Damn, she really was a reincarnated pro. This girl was an absolute mob farming machine. I immediately swooped down, landed next to one of the hound corpses, and started feasting. The system notification instantly pinged in my head. Ding, congratulations, host. Devoured level 2 spike hound corpse. Gained 3 evolution points. Gained 3 express. My eyes totally lit up. Just one level 2 hound gave me 3 whole evolution points, plus enough express to help me level up. Talk about hitting the jackpot. So, I opened my beak wide and went on an absolute feeding frenzy. Before long, I had stuffed all 12 spike hounds right into my belly. Ding, host currently has 36 evolution points. Level increased to 2. Mi Kai just stared at me as I devoured monsters that were completely, massively bigger than I was, leaving absolutely nothing behind. She couldn't even hide the sheer shock on her face. In both of her lives, she had never seen a basic little dust fluff sparrow capable of inhaling over a dozen monster corpses in one go. Shaking it off, she motioned for me to follow as we ventured deeper into the dungeon. Along the way, Mi Kai was an absolute force of nature. Using her memories from her past life and the overwhelming power of her sword immortal class, she one-shotted every single low-level monster in our path. Her level naturally skyrocketed, shooting straight up to level 4. Meanwhile, I was just trailing behind her, munching away like crazy. Honestly, my eating speed could barely keep up with her kill streak. I gotta say, getting hard carried by a pro and leeching all the loot felt incredibly good. A few hours later, my level had also climbed up to level 4. I had 98 evolution points saved up. Just 2 more points, and I'd hit the threshold for my second evolution. As we kept moving forward, Kai suddenly stopped dead in her tracks, her eyes locked on something just up ahead. Through the gloom, a massive, grotesque spider wrapped in a creepy purple mist was glaring right at us, ready to pounce. Purple Mist Arachnid, Level 6, Dungeon Boss, Skills, Purple Mist Paralysis and Toxic Fang Pierce. Kai's expression instantly tightened into a dead serious glare. Sure, this level 6 boss packed a serious punch, but a sword immortal like her was definitely no pushover either. Yet, staring at that giant purple spider, a cold shiver of pure dread ran straight through my little heart. I know damn well I can't beat this spider on my own. I'll just have to count on the reincarnator boss to carry me. All I gotta do is wait to snack on that spider corpse and rack up evolution points. Kai dashed out like a flash of lightning. Her long sword whistled through the air, sending a fierce aura straight at the purple mist demon spider. Every strike of her blade flashed with a chilling light, filling the entire forest with a frosty aura. The spider fought back desperately, but her lightning-fast, flawless strikes forced it to lose ground. Its body was getting covered in more and more gashes. Meanwhile, not too far away, Boda was creeping through the secret realm with her shadow demon wolf. The second she sensed the battle going on, she sneakily slithered over. When she saw Kai going toe-to-toe with a level 6 boss in close combat, and actually dominating it, Boda's jaw practically hit the floor. What the heck, isn't she supposed to be a beast tamer? How is she fighting up close with a sword better than a warrior? But she quickly shook off her shock, and her eyes filled with pure greed. Who cares what her deal is? That's a level 6 boss right there. Think of all those juicy experience points and rare material drops. I have to steal that kill. She patted the shadow demon wolf on the head and muttered, "Wait for my signal, then we charge." Trying to steal our kill and murder us, huh? Hovering up in the sky, I had already spotted Boda and her shadow demon wolf creeping around in the bushes. Talk about small worlds, these two actually have the nerve to try and steal our boss. I sneered to myself, today is the perfect day to settle all our scores, old and new. I'll teach you a lesson you won't forget. I'm level 4 now and have evolved once. Sure, my base stats might not match a fully grown shadow demon wolf. But this mud is only level 2. Beating it up will be like taking candy from a baby. And as for Boda, she's just a spoiled, useless beast tamer who relies entirely on her daddy's money. Her whole act depends on her pet. Without it, she's nothing but a weak piece of trash. Just as I was thinking that, Kai's battle was coming to an end. Under her relentless strikes, the purple mist demon spider's health plummeted. It was on its very last legs. Seeing her chance, Boda screamed, "Now, Shadow Demon Wolf, attack!" On command, the Shadow Demon Wolf blurred into a streak of black, charging forward at breakneck speed, aiming straight for Kai's back. Seeing this, Su Wanji's eyes turned terrifyingly cold. I should have made you pay ages ago. But since you're delivering yourself right to my doorstep, you just saved me the trouble. At that exact moment, a shadow dove from the sky, plunging down so fast it was nothing but a blur. And that blur was me. I locked onto that cocky little shadow demon wolf, a mocking glint in my eyes. Hey kiddo, your daddy's right up here. With a violent flap of my wings, 2 razor-sharp wind slashes tore through the air at blinding speed. They shredded everything in their path, ripping through the air with a deafening sonic boom. Before the shadow demon wolf could even process what was happening, the wind slashes slammed right into its face. Its massive body slammed into the dirt, kicking up a massive cloud of dust. Its glowing, menacing eyes instantly went dead. The beast twitched a couple of times, and then stopped moving completely, deader than a doornail. Ding. Current evolution points have reached 100. Would you like to initiate your second evolution? Kai watched the whole thing unfold, a wave of uncontrollable joy flashing in her eyes. She was actually worried I might get hurt, but she never expected me to one-shot that shadow demon wolf. When Boda saw the prized beast she had spent a fortune on get instantly obliterated by the same useless bird she had mocked a million times, her smug grin twisted into pure, unadulterated terror. She spun around to run for her life. My Kai didn't hesitate. Gun, stop her. I let out a happy little chirp, flapped my wings again, and sent another wind/howling through the air. That little piece of trash didn't even have time to dodge. In a flash, both her legs were sliced clean off, and she tumbled onto the ground in a bloody heap, shrieking in absolute agony. After Mi Kai finished off the barely breathing purple mist demon spider with a final thrust of her sword, she immediately leveled her blade at Boda. Gripping her blood-soaked sword, she slowly closed the distance. Drip, drip, the blood fell to the earth like the ticking of a death clock. Boda was so utterly terrified she pissed her pants, completely forgetting the blinding pain in her severed legs. She threw herself down, desperately smashing her head into the dirt and begging, "Please, my lady, spare me. I was wrong. I swear I'll never do it again. Please, just let me live." Mi Kai stepped right up to her. She stared down at her with absolute ice in her eyes, devoid of a single ounce of pity. "In my past life, you caused the tragic deaths of my parents. So in this life, there is no way I'm letting you walk away. And as for your precious daddy, I'll be coming for his head next." Flash of cold steel. Blood splattered across the dirt. Boda's eyes rolled back, and she stopped breathing entirely. Dead as a rock. You've gotta hand it to Mi Kai. She really lives up to her title as a reincarnator boss. Ruthless and absolutely decisive, I fluttered my wings and landed right on her shoulder, taking in this deeply satisfying scene. Only one word could describe how I felt. Awesome. Right after that, I swooped back down next to the corpses. Okay, I'll admit, eating a human corpse is pretty gross, but hey, for the sake of those sweet evolution points, I'll just have to suck it up. Ding. Devoured level 2 human corpse. 5 evolution points gained. Ding. Devoured level 6 boss, purple mist demon spider. 38 evolution points gained. Ding. Current evolution points have reached 500. Would you like to initiate your third evolution? Oh boy, it maxed out just like that. System, evolve. I hit the evolve button without a second thought. With Mi Kai standing guard, I didn't have to worry about getting ambushed at all. I could just focus entirely on evolving. That familiar, burning heat swept through my entire body once again, but this time, it was way more intense and overpowering than the last 2 times. Since I couldn't fight it, I decided to just lay back and enjoy the ride. Mi Kai stood off to the side, staring at me with the most dumbfounded look on her face. She was probably screaming in her head, "This little guy is evolving again? This is the 3rd time today. This dustbird is absolutely insane." But even though she was completely blown away, she still figured a dustbird's genetic potential was just way too low. Even if it kept evolving, it wouldn't amount to much in the long run. So, she stuck to her plan of focusing entirely on her sword fairy class, leaving me, her pet, to just free roam while she kept an eye on things. Plus, I'd make a great cover for her secret 2nd class. Of course, I had no clue what was going on in the little lady's head. All I knew was that my little bird body felt like it was going to explode from all this power. As the burning sensation finally started to fade, my size literally doubled. My old grayish-brown fluff transformed into a sleek, deep silver that shimmered with a faint metallic glow. My species had actually changed. I slowly opened my eyes and couldn't wait to check my system panel. Species: Silverwinged Stormbird, Level 5, Potential, Level 20, Talent, Glutton, Upgraded, Skill, Rift Slash, unleashes a high-pressure wind blade, with double the cutting power and double the attack range. Sandstorm, flapping my wings whips up a violent dust storm that blinds enemies and deals continuous physical damage. Points needed for the next evolution, 1000. I was so hyped I almost squawked out loud. I'm finally no longer just a useless pet dustbird. Not only did my main skill upgrade, but I also scored a god-tier crowd control move, Sandstorm. This evolution was a massive win. Mi Kai noticed my transformation and stared at me, deep in thought. A Silverwinged Stormbird? It looks like Roly-Poly really is different from your average mutant. Jumping 5 levels and evolving 3 times in a single morning. You couldn't find another beast like him in the entire Tamer Academy. Seeing it was about time to go, Mi Kai carried me out of the secret realm in a great mood. We slipped away quietly while nobody was watching. As for Ji Boda kicking the bucket out there, his uncle Zhao Kun was definitely going to investigate it like a madman, but for now, there was no way he'd trace it back to her. Right now, she had to give it her all to get stronger and brace herself for the incoming storm. Let's go, roly-poly. First stop, getting my tamer certification. Mi Kai strolled down the street with a smile, her fingers gently stroking my feathers. A silver-winged stormbird might not be a top-tier beast, but it's leaps and bounds better than a trash-tier dustbird. Passing the rank 1 tamer exam should be a breeze. The two of us soon arrived at the tamer center. The massive hall was bustling with people, and up ahead, the lines for the service counters stretched on forever. Mi Kai found a shorter line, and we waited patiently. Finally, it was her turn. She stepped up to the counter and handed her ID over to the clerk. The guy took her papers, looked them over closely, and his expression got weirder and weirder. Miss, the rank 1 tamer exam requires your beast to fight a level 5 monster. Honestly, I don't think your stormbird is going to pass this. He was completely shocked. Who would have thought a kid who had just awakened her tamer talent today was already here trying to get certified for rank 1? After all, tamers were divided into 9 ranks, matching every 10 levels of monsters. Even though the rank 1 exam was basic, just surviving a 5-minute fight against a level 5 monster. A newly contracted beast and its master barely had any synergy. Unless the beast's level was way higher than the monster's, winning was basically impossible. And trying to pull it off with a low-tier pet like a stormbird? That was just asking for trouble. When he saw that Mi Kai wasn't saying anything, the clerk let out a faint sigh. But if you're absolutely sure about this, we won't stop you. Mi Kai flashed a super polite smile, but her eyes were dead serious. I'm confident. Please go ahead and set up the test for me. Just like that, the clerk led us out back to the testing arena. Right at that moment, an obnoxious burst of laughter rang out from nearby. Well, if it isn't Mi Kai, the star beauty of First High. An F-rank tamer talent paired with a useless little chicken? Talk about a match made in heaven. My feathers literally puffed up in pure rage. If I could talk right now, I swear I'd roast them so hard their own mothers wouldn't recognize them. Mi Kai, on the other hand, stayed completely cool. She totally ignored their trash talk and just followed the clerk straight into a massive testing arena. The clerk gave a mysterious little smirk and punched a few buttons on the control panel. Then, he turned to Mi Kai. A monster is going to pop up in just a second. All you and your stormbird need to do is survive against it for 3 minutes. Do that, and you pass. Mi Kai gave a small nod and led me right to the center of the arena. I kept my guard up, scanning our surroundings, fully prepped for battle. Suddenly, the ground right in the middle of the arena slowly split open. A terrifying, heart-stopping aura slammed into us. A massive, demonic tree covered in thick, twisted vines slowly rose up from beneath the floor. Ghost Vine Demon Broodmother, Level 12 Elite Boss, Strength, 65, Speed, 25, Defense, 85, Spirit, 75, Skills, Vine Bind, Venom Spray, and Life Drain. The moment Mi Kai saw the monster's stats, a flash of absolute shock crossed her eyes. Wait, this isn't right. The rank 1 tamer exam is supposed to be against a level 5 monster. Why did they set me up with a level 12 elite boss? I was completely blown away too. This Ghost Vine Demon Mother's stats were over 4 times higher than mine. And its defense was just off the charts. How were we even supposed to fight this? I didn't even have to guess. This was definitely that old bastard Zhao Kun's doing. He couldn't find his son's killer, so he was using this exam as an excuse to take Mi Kai out for good. Right as Mi Kai was frantically trying to come up with a plan, the Ghost Vine Demon Mother made its move. Its vines started growing like crazy, swarming toward Mi Kai and me like a massive wave. Gun, watch out. Mi Kai swung her hand, firing off a flash of blue sword aura that sliced right through the incoming vines. But my reaction completely caught her off guard. I moved like lightning, darting through the gaps in the vines, as agile as a streak of silver light. I let out a sharp cry, showing off some insane flying skills as I weaved through the dense thicket of vines. Not a single one of them could even touch my feathers. With a fierce flap of my wings, I unleashed a barrage of wind blades. The invisible space-tearing slashes carved vicious arcs through the air, shrieking as they tore through the wind. The wind blades sliced through the vines in seconds, clearing a straight path for Mi Kai. The ghost vine demon mother let out an agonizing roar. Dark green sap oozed from the severed vines, dripping onto the floor with a terrifying sizzle as it instantly burned tiny craters into the ground. Seeing this, Mi Kai was thrilled. She kept firing off sword auras, chopping down any vines that grew back or survived my slashes. All while keeping up with me to close the distance to the demon mother. Awesome job, Gun. Keep up the pace. Mi Kai swung her sword like a hurricane, moving with incredible agility as she followed the path I cleared. She charged straight at the demon mother. My speed was so crazy that, by the end, the human eye could barely even track me. All you could see was a flash of silver tearing wildly through the vines. Accompanied by the piercing shriek of tearing wind, thick, heavy vines snapped one after another. In the monitoring room, the staff watching the screens had their jaws practically glued to the floor. How could a basic Gale Sparrow have this kind of speed and reflexes? Could it really be a legendary top-tier mutant? The moment the ghost vine demon mother realized we were in close range, it instantly pulled back all its vines. It wrapped them tightly around its core, desperately trying to defend itself. But I just flapped my wings like crazy, and whipped up a mini sandstorm. Out of nowhere, tons of fine sand flooded the empty arena. They started spinning at top speed with every beat of my wings, forming a massive sandstorm a full 5 meters wide. This absolute spectacle completely stunned everyone watching the exam. Even I scared myself a little. Was this really the Gale Sparrow's sand attack skill? Since when was it this powerful? Someone in the audience gasped out loud, their eyes wide with disbelief. That sand attack just whipped up an actual sandstorm? And look at the size of it, it's still growing the more it flaps its wings. The power just keeps stacking. Rocks swept up in the storm battered the ghost vine demon mother's vines and trunk like a hail of bullets. As the sandstorm sped up, the rocks hit harder and harder, eventually smashing right through its thickest vines. The ghost vine demon mother let out an ear-piercing shriek. Under the relentless bombardment of stone bullets, its incredibly hard bark actually started webbing with dense cracks. I couldn't help but feel a rush of excitement. This sand attack skill was way more powerful than I ever imagined. To think it could unleash this kind of devastating physical force. The flying rocks acted like thousands of tiny knives, shredding right through the demon mother's defenses. Gashes started ripping wildly across its trunk. And of course, Mi Kai wasn't about to let a golden opportunity like this slip away. A flash of pure battle lust sparked in her eyes. Seizing the moment was the key to victory. She didn't have her bound flying sword right now, nor did she have any decent sword aura to wield, so she would just have to be the sharpest sword herself. As my 2 space-tearing slashes completely shattered the demon mother's final defenses, Mi Kai hit the gas. Looking like a streak of light, she closed in on the ghost vine demon mother in a split second, right before its vines could regenerate. She raised her hand, pointing a single finger forward as all the sword aura around her focused right at her fingertip. And with that, she jabbed it straight into the demon mother's core. The sword aura violently erupted. It treated the ghost vine demon mother's so-called impenetrable defense like it was made of paper. Frenzied sword aura ran wild inside the massive trunk. In just a matter of seconds, it completely tore the colossal monster apart from the inside out. The twisted, human-like face on the demon mother froze in terror, before its massive body crumbled apart, crashing into the ground with a deafening thud. At that moment, the entire testing hall fell dead silent. Everyone watching the monitors was so utterly shocked, they couldn't even form words. Oh my god, that was a level 12 ghost vine demon mother. They actually took it down? A newly awakened freshman and a barely evolved Gale Sparrow just destroyed a level 12 elite boss? Meanwhile, I had just hopped out of the testing space, looking at the staff members, who looked like they had just seen a ghost. That was when Mi Kai realized she might have messed up big time. She honestly thought this was just a standard exam. She never expected to straight up destroy the guild's top-tier evaluation monster. I'm so sorry. Mi Kai's face flushed with embarrassment as she quickly apologized. Perched on Mi Kai's shoulder, I played along, dipping my head to look like a perfectly innocent, well-behaved little pet. To our surprise, the guild manager hurried over, his face beaming with a wide, flattering smile. Oh, Miss Mi Kai, please, there is absolutely no need to worry. Taking down that monster. Well, that's entirely a testament to your own incredible power. You aren't in any trouble at all. The guild didn't hold her accountable. Instead, they were incredibly polite and immediately processed her professional certification. He handed her a shining gold card with both hands. "Congratulations, Miss Mi Kai. As of today, you are officially a Tier 1 beast tamer." Mi Kai took the card and turned to leave, but then paused. As if suddenly remembering something, she spun right back around to ask the manager a question. Can I keep the remains of that ghost vine mother?" She pointed at the massive, mangled debris of the demon tree on the ground, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. The manager thought it over. A level 12 monster wouldn't produce a high-tier crystal core anyway, so keeping the carcass was practically useless to them. Figuring he might as well do her a favor, he happily gave the remains to Mi Kai. "Since you were the one who defeated it, the carcass is all yours. To be honest, it's not really any use to us anyway." After returning home, Mi Kai pulled out a chunk of the ghost vine mother and nudged it toward me. "Here, Gun, eat up. This is from a level 12 monster, way higher than your current level. I just hope your little stomach can handle it." But the very next second, I opened my tiny beak and, gulp, I swallowed the entire chunk of demonic wood in a single bite, even though it was way bigger than my own body. Ding! Devoured remains of level 12 ghost vine mother. Gained 15 evolution points. I inhaled the rest of the ghost vine mother's remains, licking the plate totally clean. By the time I was done, my evolution points had shot straight up to 1,200. That was way beyond the 1,000 point threshold I needed for my third evolution. But this time, I wasn't in any rush to evolve right away. I decided to stockpile a bit more first. After all, my current silver-winged Gale Sparrow form was already strong enough to handle most situations we ran into. Besides, I had this sneaking suspicion that my next evolution was going to be an absolutely massive leap in power. Mi Kai knew it too. If we wanted to get stronger fast, we had to keep hunting down monsters, non-stop. So, she made a plan to grind the dungeon realms every single day. She figured we could get stronger while scoring some valuable monster drops to help out with the family's bills. She wanted to save up enough money so her parents wouldn't have to work so desperately hard anymore. But just as Mi Kai was lost in these hopeful thoughts, a sudden, frantic ringing from her phone shattered the silence. When she answered, her mother's voice came through, choked with sobs and sheer panic. Kai, it's your dad. There's been an accident. He got crushed by falling steel at the construction site. The doctors are saying he needs surgery right now. It's going to cost a fortune. But don't you worry, sweetie. Mom will figure something out. You just focus on your studies, okay? Don't let this distract you." Mi Kai dropped the phone, her entire body collapsing onto the couch. Her eyes swelled with pure agony and suffocating guilt as the tears immediately began to pour down her face. In her past life, she had failed to protect her parents, watching helplessly as they were slaughtered by her enemies. And now, in this life, after finally getting a second chance, she still let her father get so horribly hurt. She wiped her face, her expression darkened, her eyes hardening with absolute, unshakable resolve. Gun, come on. We're going out. We have to find a way to make money right now. I am going to save my dad. I have to." Without wasting a second, she marched straight back to the Beast Tamer Guild, desperately looking for a high-paying party to raid a dungeon. But her level was just too low. Being a mere Tier 1 Beast Tamer, she was met with ruthless, mocking laughter from the veterans. A Tier 1 little girl with a scrawny little bird wants to join a high-yield dungeon run? Don't go getting yourself killed and dragging us down with you. Another scoffed. Yeah, run along home, kid. This is no place for playing dress up. Just as a cold wave of despair was washing over her, a woman in a sleek red hunting outfit strolled right up to Mi Kai. She looked her up and down, a warm, approving glint in her eyes. "You've got some real guts, little sister," the woman said softly. "Coming into the guild all by yourself to find a party." Mi Kai looked up, her eyes still red and puffy, her voice cracking slightly as she choked back her tears. "Miss, my dad desperately needs surgery. We need the money right now, so I have to run a dungeon. I have to earn it." The woman gave her a sympathetic smile and replied, "Well, how about I take you with me on a dungeon run? I've got some free time on my hands anyway, so I don't mind taking a trip with you. My name is Lin Zihan. I'm a level 15, Tier 2 Beast Tamer. Since we're making a two-person party, we can enter a dungeon that matches our average level. I'm level 15, and you're level 5, that means we can tackle a level 10 dungeon. It'll be a bit challenging, but honestly, it shouldn't be too hard for you. After all, I saw your little display during the Beast Tamer certification yesterday, she added with a wink. It'll be the perfect place for you to grind some levels. After hearing the whole story about Mi Kai's family, Lin Zihan generously promised to take her under her wing and help her grind dungeons for cash over the next few days. Mi Kai stared at the woman standing in front of her, but inside, massive alarm bells were screaming in her head. How could she possibly not recognize Lin Zihan? In her previous life, when the demonic rifts first ripped open, Lin Zihan was the very first human to turn traitor. She had sold out her own kind to the demon realm, leading hordes of monsters to slaughter over a dozen safe zones and butchering countless innocent people. Among the dead were so many of Mi Kai's own brothers and sisters in arms. But Mi Kai was quick. She buried the burning, murderous rage deep in her eyes, flashing a bright, grateful smile as she nodded in agreement. Thank you so much, Zihan. Mi Kai chirped, but inside, her thoughts were cold as ice. She wanted to see exactly what this filthy traitor was plotting by cozying up to her in this life. Fine, I'll play your little game, she thought. I'll settle the old blood debts and the new ones all at once. Moments later, the portal to the dungeon tore open. Mi Kai and I followed Lin Zihan, stepping right into the swirling vortex of the level 10 dungeon. This place isn't going to be a walk in the park, so stay sharp, Lin Zihan warned. I'll try to hold back as much as possible so you can get some real combat practice. Plus, if I let you do the heavy lifting, you'll soak up a lot more experience. Lin Zihan added in a sickly sweet tone, though a fleeting, vicious spark of greed flashed through her eyes. Mi Kai just nodded, her eyes completely fearless and dialed in. Meanwhile, I stood tall on her shoulder, my silver feathers bristling and shimmering with energy, absolutely buzzing for the bloodbath that was about to unfold. We were itching for a fight. The secret realm was completely desolate, with howling winds and yellow sand filling the sky. In the distance, a few monsters were prowling around. Those are sandcrawlers, Lin Zihan warned. Level 10 monsters. They are incredibly fast, so watch yourselves. Lin Zihan pointed at the shadowy figures darting through the swirling sand. Rolling sandstorm. At Mi Kai's command, I instantly took to the sky. My silver wings flapped fiercely, whipping up a mini sandstorm in the blink of an eye. The swirling yellow sand completely blanketed a 12-meter radius. As native creatures of the desert wasteland, the sandcrawlers clearly didn't expect to be hit by a sandstorm attack. They were completely trapped in the churning dust, utterly blinded. And that wasn't all. The flying grains of sand acted like tiny blades, constantly grinding away at their tough scales. Mi Kai seized her chance. Moving like lightning, she channeled her sword aura right to her fingertips and struck straight for a sandcrawler's weak spot. With a soft, piercing sound, her glowing finger was now the deadliest weapon imaginable. With just one clean swipe, the first sandcrawler collapsed, instantly dead. Mi Kai didn't even pause. She spun around, and with another strike, killed the second one instantly. Meanwhile, I kept circling above, relentlessly spamming my sandstorm skill. I made sure every single monster stayed right where I wanted them. It completely blinded them, while perfectly hiding Mi Kai in the shadows. Standing further back, Lin Zihan was absolutely dumbfounded. She never imagined that two little level 5 rookies could slaughter level 10 monsters this easily. Their teamwork was absolutely flawless. Her mastery over her skills is way beyond her age. Just who is this girl? Lin Zihan marveled to herself, the greedy glint in her eyes growing more intense by the second. Once the battle was over. Ding! Devoured level 10 sandcrawler corpse. Gained 8 evolution points. I munched happily on my loot, feeling that I was one step closer to my next evolution. Watching this, a flash of pure shock crossed Lin Zihan's face. This Gale Sparrow is actually eating a monster's corpse? Normal pet beasts would never do such a thing. Could it be that this beast can evolve endlessly just by devouring monsters? The very thought sent Lin Zihan's heart racing wildly. If that was true, then this pet was an incredibly rare, god-tier beast. She just had to get her hands on it. From one battle to the next, Mi Kai and I fell into a perfect rhythm. We fought like we were a single entity. I locked down the battlefield, and she went in for the kill. We were completely unstoppable together. Lin Zihan was absolutely baffled. They don't act like a newly contracted beast tamer and her pet at all. They fight like veterans who've been partners for years. Here comes another one. Mi Kai pointed at a rock golem in the distance, her eyes burning with the thrill of battle. I knew exactly what to do. I shot up into the sky and blasted my sandstorm skill again. The swirling dust completely swallowed the massive beast. It didn't stop it in its tracks, but it totally wrecked its vision. Mi Kai saw her opening. Her sword aura flashed brilliantly, striking right at the golem's weak point. The raw power was overwhelming, and the stone beast crashed heavily to the ground. Just like that, we tore through the secret realm, slaughtering one monster after another. Mi Kai leveled all the way up to 7, and I hit level 8, saving up a massive 980 evolution points. After taking down our 9th level 10 monster, I happily devoured its remains. Then, that sweet system chime finally rang out again. Evolution points have reached 1000. Would you like to initiate your 4th evolution? Hell yes, I chose to evolve without a second thought. That familiar, radiant light of evolution enveloped my entire body once again. I could feel myself undergoing a massive, earth-shattering transformation. Watching all of this, Lin Zihan's eyes practically bulged out of her head. She almost screamed, a pet beast, evolving on its own right in the middle of a dungeon? That's completely unheard of. As the blinding light finally faded, I proudly showed off my brand new form. I could feel an explosive surge of power coursing through my veins, especially my brand new skill, Phantom Body. It allowed me to spawn multiple clones for a short burst of time, instantly doubling my combat power. Right then, the system dropped a massive hint. Ding! Detected that the host has completed 4 evolutions. Now unlocking the evolution branch system. Future evolutions will require specific catalyst items in addition to evolution points. Unlocking the mythical beasts of the mountains and seas evolutionary path. Seeing that message, I was so insanely hyped I nearly dropped right out of the sky. We're talking about ancient, mythical beasts here. Sure, they might not be at the very top of the food chain yet, but one thing was for damn sure. This evolution branch was just the tip of the iceberg. It wasn't even fully unlocked yet. Me, a totally ordinary little sparrow, actually has a shot at becoming the legendary 9 Heavens Divine Phoenix. We had pretty much cleared out the entire secret realm by then. The two of us had hoarded an absolute mountain of monster materials and epic loot. The only bummer was that the system seemed to have a new cap. After feasting on so many high-level monsters, the points I got from the lower-level trash were completely pathetic. By the time we finally left the secret realm, I had just barely scraped together another 1,000 points. But for my next evolution, I needed 200,000 points to unlock the mythical beast branch. I was miles away from that goal. Once we finally got back to the city, we sold all the loot and made a total of 150,000. Just like we agreed, I'm only taking a fifth, so that's 30,000. The rest of the money is all yours. That should be more than enough for your dad's medical bills, right? Lin Zihan said with a warm smile. Mi Kai nodded gratefully, her eyes welling up with tears. Thank you so much, Zihan. This is definitely enough. Are we still on for tomorrow? Of course. Same time, same place. I'll be waiting for you. Lin Zihan said with a soft, gentle smile. After saying their goodbyes, the two of them went their separate ways. But the second she turned around, Lin Zihan's warm expression instantly turned dead cold. She pulled out her phone and dialed a number, a sinister smirk creeping across her face. Hey, how are things coming along? Tomorrow, I'm making sure that little Brad doesn't make it back alive. And her divine pet is going to be mine. Early the next morning, Mi Kai brought me to the dungeon administration center. We expected to see Lin Zihan waiting for us, but after looking all around, she was nowhere to be found. That's weird. Why isn't Zihan here yet? Mi Kai frowned, checking the time on her watch. Standing on Mi Kai's shoulder, I looked around on high alert. Something felt off. There was a heavy, dangerous vibe lingering in the air. Just then, 3 shady-looking hunters slowly swaggered over toward Mi Kai. Hey there, gorgeous. Are you flying solo? Wanna team up with us? The guy leading the group looked Mi Kai up and down with a sleazy, malicious glint in his eye. Sorry, I've already got a party. Mi Kai replied coldly, making her rejection crystal clear. But the guy wouldn't take no for an answer. He took a step closer, flashing a creepy, arrogant smirk. It's pretty dangerous out here for a pretty little thing like you all by yourself. Come with us, we guarantee we'll double your loot. What do you say? I said, I don't need it. Mi Kai's voice turned ice cold, her gaze sharpening into a deadly glare. Seeing that she wasn't going to budge, the guy finally backed off. He just gave her a knowing, sinister smile and waved his hand. "Suit yourself, sweetheart, see you around." With that, he and his buddies turned around and walked away. But not before a dark, barely noticeable smirk flashed across his face. After waiting for nearly 2 hours, Lin Zihan still hadn't shown up. Not wanting to waste any more time, Kai decided to hit up a low-level dungeon by herself to farm some materials, so she could buy some health supplements for her dad. Gun, since Zihan isn't coming, let's just run a low-level dungeon on our own. We're actually pretty strong now, anyway, Kai whispered softly, gently stroking my feathers. I nodded, letting out a chirp of agreement. I wanted to level up as fast as possible too, so I could rack up evolution points and finally unlock my Divine Beast evolutionary tree. Just like that, Kai picked a level 7 dungeon and stepped inside all by herself. But just moments after she entered, the same group of sleazy guys from earlier quietly slipped in right behind her. Their eyes gleamed with a chilling, predatory light, looking exactly like venomous snakes locked onto their prey. Meanwhile, inside the low-level dungeon, Kai was on an absolute rampage. She totally dropped the cautious playstyle she used in high-level dungeons. Instead, she started pulling massive mobs of monsters, leaving it to me to wipe them all out with my sandstorm skill. We were clearing the area with ridiculous efficiency. Gun, sandstorm. As soon as Kai gave the command, I beat my wings and soared into the air, whipping up a mini tornado that instantly tore through the dungeon. Countless monsters were sucked into the eye of the storm, sliced to shreds by the razor-sharp wind and flying sand. Kai, meanwhile, formed sword seals with her fingers and darted through the raging storm. Every single strike landed flawlessly on the monster's weak points. In just a few minutes, we completely cleared out a massive chunk of the area. The non-stop fighting skyrocketed Kai's level straight up to level 8. She could feel a surge of raw energy filling her body. She was finally strong enough to forge a sword altar within herself, using a sword core to nourish her blade. I can finally start cultivating my sword altar. My sword immortal class is about to get a huge power spike. Kai cheered internally. She could feel herself inching ever closer to the absolute peak of her past life. But to her absolute surprise, before she could even soak in the feeling of her new strength, massive hordes of monsters started swarming her from all directions, rushing in like crazy. What the hell is going on? Why are all these monsters aggroing at once? Kai furrowed her brow. This kind of mob behavior was incredibly rare in a low-level dungeon. Someone was clearly pulling the strings behind the scenes. Left with no other choice, she readied her sword fingers once again, teaming up with me to fight back wave after endless wave of monster attacks. But soon, the relentless swarm completely drained her. Exhausted to the bone, she slumped against a rock, gasping for breath. These monsters are acting way too weird. Why do they just keep spawning? Kai scanned her surroundings on high alert, a deep sense of dread tightening in her chest. Just then, the slow, mocking sound of clapping echoed from the shadows. It shattered the eerie silence of the dungeon. Not bad at all. You've actually got some real skills, sweetheart. A few familiar figures stepped out from the shadows. It was that exact same group of guys who hit on us at the management office earlier. You've got no strength left to fight back. Be a good girl, do exactly what we say, and maybe, just maybe, we'll let you live. The guy in the lead licked his lips, a sickeningly gross smile spreading across his face. Just when everyone thought Kai was completely at their mercy, I suddenly shot out from nowhere. My wings beat furiously, whipping up a violent storm like never before. At the exact same time, Kai, who had looked so weak just a second ago, suddenly burst forward with terrifying speed. She weaved through the crowd like an absolute ghost. Then, she just calmly flicked her wrist, sending a few drops of blood flying from her fingertips. Blood splattered everywhere. The guys collapsed to the ground before they could even let out a single scream. Their eyes were wide with pure disbelief. Having lived 2 lifetimes, Kai had already survived countless dirty tricks like this. She knew exactly how to hide her true strength and play weak. Have you enjoyed the show enough? After finishing off those scumbags, Kai suddenly snapped her head toward a seemingly empty corner. She asked in a dead cold voice, "Aren't you going to come out yet, Big Sister Lin Zihan?" Slowly, a familiar figure stepped out from the deep shadows. It was Lin Zihan, who had been missing all morning. She still had that gentle smile plastered on her face, but her eyes were glaring with bone-chilling ice. My little sister, what incredible moves. Big sister is just so thrilled to see it. But, what a tragic pity that you will be sleeping here forever. Lin Zihan's smile twisted into something deeply sinister. Don't worry, I'll take great care of your little bird for you. Her gaze locked onto me, burning with raw, naked greed. Once a beastmaster dies, their tamed beast becomes ownerless and falls into a weakened state. Just 1 hour later, the beast reverts back to a wild monster and can be contracted all over again. That was exactly what this witch had planned. She wanted to murder my master and steal me. Pure rage exploded in my chest. You want to murder and steal? You better ask your granddaddy right here if he'll let that happen. I wildly beat my wings, turning into a streak of blue light and lunging straight for her ugly face. Gun, no. Mi Kai panicked and tried to stop me, but it was way too late. Seeing her prey flying right into her trap, Lin Zihan smirked, looking like she had already won the jackpot. She threw her hand up, unleashing a beastmaster's binding power to grab me midair. Ah, the little guy is throwing himself right into my arms. You're all mine now. Mi Kai gasped in horror. She desperately tried to force out her sword aura, only to find her energy completely drained. A huge wave of panic hit her. Crap, I used everything I had to kill those guys. I didn't plan for an ambush. My sword aura is completely gone. I can't even save Gun now. Lin Zihan let out a cold, mocking laugh. Ah, looks like my little sister can't use her fancy little sword skills anymore. In that case, let big sister send you straight to hell. With that, she blew a sharp whistle. Out of nowhere, a pure snow white, six-tailed fox leapt out from the tall grass. Little White, use tail whip on her. Following the command, the white fox whipped its heavy tails, fully loaded with paralyzing venom, straight at Mi Kai's chest. Mi Kai's sword aura was recovering way too slowly. She had zero time to block. Watching the deadly tails crash toward her, she could only let out a bitter, defeated laugh. I got a second chance at life. Just to die from this bitch's cheap shot? But right at that heart-stopping second, my frantic bird cry echoed through the entire dungeon. I slammed my wings together, whipping up a massive sandstorm out of thin air right over the white fox. The thick, blinding sand completely swallowed the beast, instantly destroying its vision and breaking its attack. Seeing this, Mi Kai's eyes lit up with fierce hope. Gun, you are absolutely amazing. Seizing her one shot, Mi Kai violently squeezed out the absolute last drop of energy in her body, forming her fingers into a deadly blade. Faint, glowing sword aura gathered at her fingertips. Slash! The sharp light flashed, slicing flawlessly right through the white fox's tails. All 6 of the fox's tails were chopped clean off. Blood sprayed everywhere as it completely lost its ability to fight, rolling and screeching in agonizing pain inside the sandstorm. Lin Zihan's hand, which had reached out to grab me, snatched nothing but empty air. Absolute shock washed over her face. No freaking way, didn't I just grab that stupid little bird? She stared down at her empty palm, seeing nothing but a fading afterimage. Then, my super smug chirping rang out from the other side. See that, you ugly witch? Your granddaddy's phantom illusion is the ultimate baiting skill. In that split second when Lin Zihan was totally distracted, Mi Kai's second strike of sword aura was fully charged and ready to blow. A lethal blue blade of light pointed dead straight at the spot right between Lin Zihan's eyebrows. In sheer desperation, a crazed look flashed through Lin Zihan's eyes. Gritting her teeth, she slapped out a glowing yellow talisman from her chest pocket. The magic paper fluttered without any wind, instantly exploding with power. Screw hiding my strength, I'm going all out. This tier 1 binding seal might be weak, but as long as it freezes this little brat in place, even for just 1 second, I can totally flip this fight and win. That little bird is going to be mine. Right when the talisman was about to hit Mi Kai, I threw myself right in front of Mi Kai. Sky Splitter, the cyan blade and the yellow binding talisman crashed into each other with a huge bang. Ever since I evolved, the range of my Sky Splitter has doubled, and it hits way harder than before. I felt this weird energy instantly paralyze my entire body. It was the effect of the binding talisman. I took the whole hit for her. Lin Zihan totally freaked out. What the hell is with this pet? It actually knows how to protect its master on its own? Mi Kai didn't even give a command. Meanwhile, the leftover energy from my sky splitter merged right into the blue sword aura that Mi Kai slashed out. And it slammed squarely into Lin Zihan. She let out a blood-curdling scream, went flying backwards, and hit the ground, coughing up blood. Her aura completely crashed, and she totally lost the ability to fight back. Mi Kai looked down at me, paralyzed by the talisman from protecting her, and a massive wave of warmth flooded her heart. Gun, you really are my lucky star. She rushed over and gently peeled the binding talisman right off me. The second it came off, I could move again. The two of us marched right up to Lin Zihan. Mi Kai's eyes were ice cold, completely ruthless. With a flash of her sword aura, a sharp blade of light pierced straight through the white fox. The white fox twitched a couple of times, and was gone. Pure, absolute despair flashed across Lin Zihan's eyes. But Mi Kai didn't give her another chance to speak. With another swift slash of sword aura, it sliced right across Lin Zihan's neck. Lin Zihan collapsed in a pool of blood, gone for good. Suddenly, a warm golden light cascaded from the sky, entirely wrapping around Mi Kai. Finally hit level 10, Mi Kai felt the surging power inside her, absolutely thrilled. Standing off to the side, I couldn't help but be in total awe. As expected of a reincarnated boss, she's incredibly decisive and utterly terrifying. Welp, dinner time. I let out a couple of happy chirps, fluttered over to the bodies, and started chowing down. Taking out those two clowns only gave me a combined total of 130 evolution points. I need 200,000 points to unlock the Divine Beast branch for my next evolution. This little snack is basically a drop in the bucket. When am I ever gonna evolve again? After we finally left the Dungeon Administration Center, Mi Kai took me to this massive supermarket to hunt for food. Gun, let's see if we can find some high-quality pet food. I'll buy you like 8 or 10 bags to help you recover your strength. I peeked at the pet food in the snack aisle and took a few bites. Only 0.01 evolution points? Seriously, this stuff is absolute garbage, it wouldn't even fill the gaps in my teeth. Seeing those pathetic evolution points completely killed my vibe. With a quick flap of my wings, I swept up and totally devoured every single free sample on the shelf next to me. But, I got caught red-handed by the shopkeeper, this super beefy, mean-looking fat guy. Whose stupid bird is this? Yeah, we offer free samples, but you can't just wipe out the whole damn stock. Pay up. If you don't pay up, I'm calling the guards right now. Mi Kai gasped in shock and immediately started apologizing. I am so sorry, my gun just has a really big appetite. How much do I owe you? I'll pay for it. The fat guy's eyes drifted over Mi Kai, checking her out from head to toe with pure, disgusting greed. According to store policy, you owe me 400,000. This fat slob was obviously shaking us down. A little bird took a few bites of free samples, and he wants 400,000? Hearing that ridiculous number, Mi Kai's face immediately fell. She had just paid for her dad's surgery. She practically had zero cash left on her. But right at that moment, a tall, slender young guy stepped right out of the crowd. He was wearing a simple black hunting outfit, standing straight, with this incredibly sharp, unstoppable aura in his eyes. He stepped right in front of Mi Kai and glared coldly at the fat shopkeeper. I get that men like pretty girls, but bullying a young lady like this is completely out of line. I've been watching this whole time. The stuff that little bird ate wouldn't even add up to $100. You opening your mouth and demanding 400,000 is blatant extortion. The fat shopkeeper's face completely darkened. And who the hell do you think you are, kid? You dare stick your nose in my business? The young man didn't say a word. He just pulled out a heavy blade and slammed it down hard right onto the counter. You want 400,000, right? I'll cover the cost for the lady. I've used this blade for years, and it's worth way more than 400,000. I'm leaving it here as collateral. Give us 3 days. Within 3 days, I'll bring you your 400,000. Otherwise, the blade is yours. The fat shopkeeper stared at the heavy blade, his greedy eyes totally glued to it. After a quick second of hesitation, he eagerly nodded his head. Fine, I'll do you a favor and give you some face. 3 days. If you don't bring me 400,000 by then, this sweet blade is all mine. With that settled, the young guy quickly jogged over and caught up to Mi Kai, who was just about to leave. Miss, please wait a moment. Mi Kai stared at the young guy in front of her, her heart pounding out of her chest, her eyes filled with total disbelief. Her breathing completely stopped. It was the blade god, Yi Jingchen. It was really him. In her past life, he was the comrade who fought fiercely by her side right until the very bitter end, the ultimate champion of the human faction. The Blade God, the only one whose class could rival her sword immortal. When the level 100 Demon Realm rift opened, it was him who used his own body to block the monster's fatal strike for her, buying her just a few more minutes of life. To think she'd actually run into him so early in this life. He was exactly like he was in his past life, always standing up for the weak, full of chivalry. Yi Jingchen looked at her and flashed a bright, easygoing smile. No need to look so surprised, miss. Just helping out where I can. Though, I did pawn my blade, so I'm completely broke right now. I wonder if you could do me a solid? Let's team up for a dungeon. I need to scrape together those 400,000 fast, and I can power level you along the way. A win-win situation, what do you say? Mi Kai sized Yi Jingchen up, alarm bells instantly ringing in her head. She had already been set up by Lin Zihan once and almost died for it. This guy in front of her. Even though they were comrades in her past life, she wasn't about to just blindly trust him. Subconsciously, she looked down at me resting in her arms. Gun, should we team up with this guy? I stared at Yi Jingchen. I could tell he didn't have any malicious intent, but he was definitely hiding some deep secrets. Still, farming monsters in a dungeon would let me rack up evolution points super fast. If I want to evolve into a divine beast, I gotta go all in. Risk and reward always go hand in hand. I poked my little head out and gently pecked Mi Kai's palm twice, giving her the green light. Well, since Gun has no objections, I'll trust you this once. Mi Kai looked back up at Yi Jingchen and flashed a bright, sunny smile. Alright, let's team up. A faint, almost imperceptible gleam flashed deep in Yi Jingchen's eyes. Perfect, as long as I can get close to her, the rest will be a piece of cake. That's fantastic, I'm level 15, you're level 10. Plus this little bird here. Clearing a level 10 dungeon should be a walk in the park. It's a shame I had to pawn my blade, otherwise I could have carried you both through the entire thing single-handedly. I rolled my eyes so hard internally. So shameless. Without his blade, the current Yi Jingchen is probably just a useless decoration. Still, this was definitely the perfect chance to hit a level 10 dungeon. Thanks to being ambushed by that bitch Lin Zihan, she still hadn't claimed the first clear reward for the level 10 dungeon. We might as well use this chance to grind some levels and hoard up more evolution points. A bright, slightly mischievous smile blossomed on Mi Kai's face. No worries, then we'll just have to be the ones carrying you through the dungeon, tough guy. By the way, I still haven't caught your name. Yi Jingchen met Mi Kai's gaze and coolly brushed a stray lock of hair behind his ear. Flashing what he probably thought was a devastatingly handsome smile, he said, "Let me officially introduce myself. I'm Yi Jingchen, the man destined to become the Blade God." Mi Kai gave a polite, symbolic little salute. "Ah, so it's Mr. Yi. I've heard so much about you. I'm Mi Kai, a Tier 1 beast tamer." Yi Jingchen's brow furrowed just the tiniest bit. So this girl really is hiding her sword immortal class on purpose. No matter. I've got plenty of time and tricks up my sleeve to make you hand over that sword immortal emblem. As for this tiny little Gale Sparrow, aside from having a big appetite, what can it even do? Nothing to worry about. I sharply caught that brief, weird flash in Yi Jingchen's eyes and immediately went on high alert. I knew there was something sketchy about this guy. Without wasting another second, the two of them walked side by side to the dungeon administration desk. After registering their info, Mi Kai took the lead, stepping right into the glowing portal of the level 10 dungeon, Sand Sea Ruins. This definitely wasn't Mi Kai's first time here. She moved like a seasoned pro. One girl, one sword, backed up by my agile support, inside this level 10 dungeon. We were practically untouchable. Whenever we ran into stray sand monsters, Mi Kai's pinpoint sword aura would slice through them before they could even get close. Instant kills across the board. I just happily fluttered behind her, playing my part perfectly as the team's dedicated scavenger. Listening to the system notifications pinging constantly in my head, I was bubbling with happiness. Just one thing to say, getting carried feels amazing. Trailing behind them, Yi Jingchen looked totally relaxed, but his expression had quietly darkened. He finally realized why Mi Kai treasured this totally average-looking Gale Sparrow so much. That's no ordinary pet bird. It can actually swallow monster corpses whole to absorb their energy and endlessly evolve. Look at how much it's enjoying the feast. If it eats enough, who knows what kind of terrifying transformation it might undergo. An ability like that is absolutely unheard of. No way. Such a priceless divine pet, plus that sword immortal emblem that can literally rewrite destiny. I absolutely cannot let them stay in this brat's hands. They have to be mine. Without giving himself away, he scanned the surroundings, his mind racing with a new scheme. According to the map, once we cross this quicksand zone, we'll hit the Sand Crab Queen's lair. The terrain there is rough, and visibility is terrible. Perfect, it's showtime. Let's give our naive little Miss MIA performance she won't forget. We pressed forward and soon reached the edge of the quicksand zone. The blowing sand was getting thicker, dropping our visibility down to almost zero. Right at that moment, Yi Jingchen let out a sudden scream, and his entire body lunged toward the quicksand. He plunged right in. Oh crap, I'm sinking. Miss MI, help me. Seeing this, MI Kai subconsciously lunged forward to pull him out. But I suddenly swooped right in front of her, chirping frantically to warn her back. I saw it with my own two eyes. Yi Jingchen didn't slip by accident at all. The bastard jumped in on purpose. It was all an act. And right in that split second of MI Kai's hesitation, over a dozen sand demon scorpions burst out from the quicksand, completely surrounding us. Meanwhile, Yi Jingchen, who was supposed to be sinking, was now standing completely unharmed right behind the swarm of scorpions. Gripping a brand new dagger, that naive smile of his had completely vanished, replaced by a twisted look of pure, greedy malice. MI Kai's pupils shrank in sheer disbelief as she stared at him. Yi Jingchen, you. Yi Jingchen let out a cold sneer, his voice chillingly slow. Cut the act, MI Kai. I know you have the sword immortal crest, and I know this bird of yours is a divine beast capable of infinite evolution. Be smart, hand over the crest, give me the bird, and I might just leave your corpse intact. MI Kai's eyes turned instantly ice cold. To think the Blade God, the man who fought by her side until the bitter end in their past life, was actually plotting to steal her crest in this life. Why? As if reading her mind, Yi Jingchen burst into a manic laugh. What? Surprised? Did you honestly think I died in the abyssal rift just to save you in our past life? I was killed by the backlash of your damn sword immortal crest. If it wasn't for you, would my soul have been ripped to shreds? I was reborn into this life to take back what's rightfully mine. That crest, and this divine beast, they both belong to ME. The very second those words left his mouth, the entire dungeon began violently shaking. A massive, pitch-black rift ripped open across the sky. Endless demonic aura violently poured out from the crack like a tidal wave. A terrifying pressure instantly engulfed the dungeon, freezing the very air in our lungs. Both MI Kai and Yi Jingchen went pale with pure shock. An abyssal rift, a level 100 rift. It opened here 3 whole years early? A deafening roar shattered the air from within the black void. A massive vanguard of level 100 monsters tore through the rift, their blood-red eyes dead set on the three of us. Yi Jingchen instantly sheathed his dagger, all thoughts of the sword immortal crest completely forgotten. He spun around, screaming frantically at MI Kai, don't just stand there. Run if you want to live. The abyssal rift is open. If we don't move now, we're all dead meat. The black rift above expanded violently, its thick demonic energy dripping down like suffocating ink. In the blink of an eye, the entire sand sea ruins were painted in a dead, ash-gray hue. Right after that eardrum-shattering roar, a gigantic claw, covered entirely in molten lava scales, violently smashed its way out of the rift. Its razor-sharp claws ripped through the air, sparking trails of pure fire. The sheer pressure of a level 100 monster crushed down like a mountain. I couldn't even flap my wings under the weight. Holy crap, I started cursing up a storm in my head. In the last life, these level 100 freaks didn't show up for another 3 years. But now, they crashed the party 3 whole years early, right in our damn faces. What's the saying? Minding my own business, only for disaster to strike from the sky. Yi Jingchen, who was just spitting venom with a twisted face, was now pale as a ghost. The hand gripping his dagger was violently shaking. He spun around, desperate to bolt for the dungeon exit, but in a flash, over a dozen pitch-black shadow bats burst from the rift. Level 80 monsters. With a single flap of their wings, a sickening, bloody gust of wind completely sealed off his escape route. Run? It was way too late to run now. MI Kai tightened her grip around her longsword. Her level restrictions meant her sword aura only flickered with a weak blue light, but the fierce, deadly glare in her eyes hadn't faded one bit. She had died fighting in a level 100 monster wave in her past life. This time, even if she died again, she absolutely refused to take a single step back. I immediately darted in front of her, my deep blue feathers crackling with fierce lightning. I popped my phantom skill, instantly summoning 4 clones around her, my void slash fully charged and ready to go. To hell with this level 100 boss. You wanna lay a finger on my master? You'll have to go through me first. Right at that moment, the colossal monster finally dragged itself completely out of the rift. Its massive body stretched over a dozen meters long. Boiling demonic fire constantly dripped from its molten scales, incinerating everything in its path. Even the desert sand melted into solid glass. Demonic flame lizard, level 100 abyssal vanguard, fire-type monster, strength, 999, speed, 350, defense, 800, spirit, 600, skills, demonic hellfire, molten claw, abyssal rift, and demonic flame regeneration. Staring at that absolutely absurd string of numbers on the system panel, my brain just completely short-circuited. With stats like that, even a level 90 Mi Kai from her past life would have to fight tooth and nail just to survive. Let alone right now, when she's only level 10, and I'm a measly level 8. This is a literal nightmare start. Mi Kai, what the hell are you waiting for? Give me the crest if you want to live. Yi Jingchen savagely slashed a lunging shadow bat out of the air, screaming like a madman at Mi Kai. Do you actually think that crest is a blessing? In our last life, you forced its power, and it blew your goddamn body to pieces. I took 90% of the backlash for you. That's why my soul was utterly obliterated. Did you really think I just wanted to steal your crest? I can't watch you die all over again. The moment those words left his mouth, both Mi Kai and I completely froze. Holy crap, talk about a massive plot twist. I hung there in midair, totally dumbfounded. Just a second ago, I pegged this guy as a two-faced traitor. Turns out, he actually died shielding her from the backlash in their past life. Mi Kai's pupils shrank in utter shock, the hand gripping her longsword violently trembling. What did you just say? In my past life, I didn't die from the monster ambush? The monster siege was just a front. Yi Jingchen sliced through another shadow bat. In the final battle of our past life, you forced your crest to break through to level 100 just to hold back the monster horde. Your soul was instantly ignited. It was me. I used my blade essence and my own soul to shield you from that terrifying backlash. You only lived for 3 more minutes, while my soul was entirely shattered by the blast. I didn't even get a chance to reincarnate. The first thing I did after being reborn was look for you. I knew that with your stubborn personality, you would definitely use the sword immortal crest again. I had to use this extreme method to force you to hand it over. I wanted to bear that backlash for you, even if it meant my soul would be scattered to the winds. I just couldn't watch you die again. His voice broke into a roar, filled with undeniable despair and desperation. Sunlight broke through the demonic aura and hit his face. Where was the sinister greed from before? There was nothing left but bloodshot eyes and sheer agony. Mi Kai stood frozen in place, tears falling without warning. Fragments of memories from that final battle flooded her mind. All she could remember was the agonizing pain in her soul, her vision going black as she lost consciousness. Right before she died, she saw Yi Jingchen throw himself in front of her, taking the monster's fatal strike. It wasn't an illusion after all. He really had died for her in their past life. Right at that moment, the demonic flame lizard let out a deafening roar, its massive jaws snapping open. A pillar of lava, surging with dark energy, blasted straight towards the 3 of us, engulfing everything in its path. Watch out! I snapped back to reality and dashed to the front without a second thought, flapping my wings like crazy. I pushed my sandstorm skill to the absolute limit, pulling a massive tornado of dust from the ground. I forcefully threw up a wall of sand right in front of the raging fire. At the same time, I maxed out my phantom skill, with 4 clones unleashing a barrage of wind blades, weaving an airtight defense net. But how could someone at my current level ever block an attack from a level 100 beast? The lava pillar tore through the sand wall in an instant. My wind blades didn't even make a dent before they completely evaporated in the demonic fire. I felt a wave of heat hit my face, hot enough to turn me into pure ash. It felt like 1,000 red-hot knives stabbing right through me as the fire pillar blasted me into the air. I slammed hard into the sand, coughing up a mouthful of blood. A huge chunk of my deep blue feathers was completely scorched. Gun. Mi Kai let out a heart-wrenching scream and rushed over to catch me without hesitating. Her sword aura exploded outward, forcefully blocking the shockwave that followed. But the impact sent her stumbling backward, blood trickling from the corner of her mouth. Don't just stand there, team up, or else we are all going to die here today. Yi Jingchen dragged his battered body forward, slamming his short blade into the dirt. He unleashed all of his blade energy. Mi Kai, you take the lead with your sword immortal aura. I will back you up with my blade arts, and your bird can handle crowd control and distraction. It is the only way we make it out of this alive. Mi Kai wiped the tears from her face and gently placed me on her shoulder. Her eyes turned fierce and determined once again. She nodded, gripping her longsword tightly as the sword immortal crest slowly lit up on her forehead. A pale blue sword aura flowed over the blade like water. Alright, let's do this. The moment the words left her mouth, Mi Kai turned into a streak of light and charged forward. The legacy of the sword immortal was on full display. Every strike was ruthlessly precise. Her sword energy swept across the battlefield, slicing the lunging shadow bats clean in half. Yi Jingchen followed closely behind, his blade strikes perfectly syncing with her sword aura. Fighting through the intense pain, I flapped my wings and took to the sky. I triggered Sandstorm again. A massive cloud of dust swept out, completely blinding the monster horde. I spammed my wind blades, aiming straight for their eyes, wings, and every other weak point. My phantom clones darted everywhere, throwing the monsters into absolute chaos. Devoured low health level 80 Shadow Bat. Gained 800 evolution points. Devoured level 75 Desert Fiend Scorpion Corpse. Gained 650 evolution points. Ding, host level increased to 9. Total evolution points, 12,800. The system alerts were going crazy in my head. While I was playing support, I was frantically devouring monster corpses, watching my evolution points skyrocket. I have got to admit, the points from these high-level monsters were ridiculously good. Before, I would grind a low-level dungeon for half a day just to get a few thousand points. Now, one single shadow bat gave me 800. It was like hitting the jackpot. But just as we finally stabilized our formation and were about to clear out the remaining low-tier monsters, a rush of heavy footsteps echoed from the dungeon entrance. A dozen off-road vehicles smashed right through the barrier and slammed on the brakes at the edge of the quicksand zone. The middle-aged man leading the pack wore a black beast tamer's robe. A hideous scar ran across his face, and his eyes were dripping with pure venom. Beside him stood a level 45 golden-armored Lion King, radiating an overwhelmingly brutal aura. It was Zhao Kun, Ji Boda's father, the Tier 4 beast tamer. My heart skipped a beat. Oh, man, when it rains, it pours. We had level 100 monsters in front of us, and a vengeful villain behind us. We were completely trapped. The difficulty just spiked to absolute hell mode. Mi Kai, you vicious little rat, you murdered my son, and you still dared to cause trouble here? Zhao Kun's voice was laced with poison. His eyes locked onto Mi Kai in a death glare. Today, I am going to make you pay with your life. And that pathetic bird of yours, I am going to pluck its feathers, boil it, and feed it to the dogs. Mi Kai's eyes turned instantly ice cold. Zhao Kun, your son, Ji Boda, was a scumbag who had it coming. He got exactly what he deserved. If you want to avenge him, just bring it on. Avenge him? Zhao Kun suddenly burst into maniacal laughter, his face twisting into a hideous grin. The death of some greenhorn kid means absolutely nothing. I didn't come all the way here today just to avenge my son. He abruptly raised his hand, pointing at the demonic rift above us, a crazed smile spreading across his face. This demonic rift, I spent 10 years using forbidden arts to forcefully tear it open. The demonic lord and I struck a deal a long time ago. As long as I help him open the gateway to the human realm, he'll help me become the absolute ruler of this city. No, the king of the entire world. The moment those words left his mouth, the three of us went pale instantly. A second massive plot twist. The demonic rift didn't open by accident at all. It was this old bastard Zhao Kun pulling the strings. No wonder it opened 3 years early, and precisely inside the Sand Sea ruins. So this was all part of this old geezer's scheming. You're insane. Yi Jingchen's eyes were practically bursting with rage. Do you even know what those demonic creatures are? They will slaughter every single person in this city. You're inviting the wolves right to our door. You're betraying all of humanity. Humanity? Zhao Kun sneered, his face full of absolute disgust. So what if those bottom-feeding ants die? As long as I can gain supreme power, I don't care if the entire world goes down to the grave with me. What does it matter? He reached out and patted the golden-armored Lion King beside him. His greedy eyes locked onto the sword immortal crest right between Mi Kai's eyebrows. I was originally planning to wait until you fully awakened the crest's power before I snatched it from you. But to think you deliver yourself right to my doorstep. Perfect. Today, I'll just kill you first, take the sword immortal crest, and then offer this divine pet of yours, the one that can evolve endlessly, to the demonic lord. Then, my grand empire will be complete. The moment those words left his mouth, Zhao Kun suddenly raised his hands and bowed respectfully toward the massive demonic flame lizard. Lord Emissary, this little brat carries the legacy of the ancient sword immortal, and she has a divine pet with infinite evolution. If I capture them for you, those things you promised me, you absolutely cannot go back on your word. The demonic lizard's crimson eyes swept over Zhao Kun, and it let out a low, rumbling roar. It seemed to be agreeing. I instantly started cursing my head off inside. I've seen shameless people before, but never anyone this downright despicable. Selling out all of humanity and colluding with the demon realm just for power. This old bastard is completely out of his goddamn mind. Attack, kill them all. At Zhao Kun's command, the dozen or so beast tamers behind him released their pets all at once. The weakest ones were at least level 30. In an instant, deafening beastly roars echoed through the entire Sand Sea ruins as they lunged at us like maniacs. At the exact same time, the demonic flame lizard made its move again. Its colossal, molten lava claws smashed down toward Mi Kai with world-destroying force. It unleashed its demonic flame annihilation skill simultaneously. The sky filled with demonic fire raining down like a meteor shower, completely sealing off all our escape routes. Trapped from the front and back, there was nowhere to hide. Mi Kai, watch out! Yi Jingchen didn't even hesitate. He threw himself forward, using his own body as a human shield right behind Mi Kai. He took the full, brutal impact of the golden-armored Lion King's pounce head-on. The razor-sharp lion claws ripped his back wide open, turning the bone-deep wound instantly into a bloody, mangled mess. He coughed up a huge mouthful of blood and crashed heavily onto the ground. Yi Jingchen, Mi Kai screamed and tried to help him up, but the demonic lizard's giant claws were already right in front of her. In that split second of life or death, I flapped my wings violently and charged forward, throwing my own body right in front of Mi Kai. I knew perfectly well that with my current strength, there was absolutely no way I could block this attack. I knew that if this hit me, I'd probably be smashed into a million bloody pieces. But I couldn't run away. It was her who formed a contract with me without a second thought, back when everyone laughed at me and called me a useless dead chicken, back when even a stray dog could pluck my feathers bald. It was her who stayed right by my side, never leaving for even a second every time I passed out from evolving, terrified that someone else might hurt me. It was her who treated me like real family, not just some worthless piece of trash pet. It was her who gave my second life meaning, turning me from a useless little bird who couldn't even evolve into something that actually has the potential to become a divine beast. So this time, it's my turn to protect her. Even if it costs me my life, even if my bones are crushed to dust, I absolutely won't let her get hurt even a tiny bit. Ding. Bond value between host and contractor has broken the critical threshold, triggering divine tier bloodline awakening. Ding. Detected that the host has devoured a massive amount of fire-type demonic energy, meeting the evolution conditions. Initiate divine beast branching evolution immediately? Evolve. Evolve right this damn second. Even if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna finish evolving before I go down. I roared like a madman inside my head. A blindingly brilliant blue and gold light exploded out of my body in an instant, lighting up the entire Sand Sea ruins as bright as day. When the demonic flame lizard's giant claws slammed into the light, they were actually blasted right back. Even several of its molten lava scales were shattered from the sheer impact. Bathing in the light, I could feel this overwhelming, earth-shattering power surging through my body. All the demonic monster cores I had devoured before, the fiery energy, plus the over 10,000 evolution points I had saved up. They all erupted at this very moment. That familiar, Sickening dizziness from my congenital muscle weakness hit me all over again. But this time, I didn't feel a single ounce of fear. Clenching my teeth as hard as I could, I pushed through that violently spinning wave of nausea with pure willpower. I let that blazing power wash through every single meridian and bone in my body. Ding! Evolution complete. Host species has evolved from the thunder-patterned Gale Sparrow into the ancient mythical beast from the classic of mountains and seas, the fire virtue Bai Fang. Ding! Level increased to level 20. Potential cap broken through to level 100. Ding! Congenital muscle weakness defect has been completely eradicated by the Bai Fang divine fire. Unlocking god-tier talent, immune to all fires. Ding! Detected the initial awakening of the host's phoenix bloodline, unlocking the ultimate evolution path. Fire virtue Bai Fang into the 9 heavens bathing fire phoenix. As the light faded away, I slowly opened my eyes. My body, which used to be only the size of a palm, had now grown to over half a meter long. I'm no longer that little tumbleweed sparrow that anyone could bully. I am the fire virtue Bai Fang, an ancient mythical bird from the classic of mountains and seas. What? How is this possible? A mere house sparrow actually evolved into a Bai Fang? Zhao Kun stared at me hovering in midair, the smugness on his face instantly twisting into absolute terror. He let out a piercing scream. Even the demonic flame giant lizard sensed the aura of my divine fire. Bai Fang divine fire is the most supreme, masculine, and unyielding fire in the world. The absolute bane of all evil and demonic paths. I looked down at Mi Kai, who was holding me in her arms, her face full of shock and heartache. I gently nuzzled her cheek with my head and let out a clear, ringing chirp. Don't cry, my reincarnator lady. See, I told you I'd protect you. Then, I whipped my head around to glare at the beast tamers and their pets lunging right at us. An icy, murderous intent flashed in my eyes. You guys had a lot of fun bullying us just now, didn't you? Now, it's your granddaddy's turn to get some payback. I flapped my wings violently, and the Bai Fang divine fire instantly swept out, transforming into a sky full of fire ravens. They swooped down on those pets. Skill activated. 10,000 ravens burning the heavens. Wherever the fire ravens passed, those level 30 plus pets were burned to ashes before they could even let out a single scream. So satisfying, too satisfying. Is this the power of a mythical beast? I was so thrilled I almost screamed out loud in my mind. All the frustration of being beaten down before was completely unleashed in this exact moment. Zhao Kun turned pale with fright and spun around to run. But like hell I was gonna give him the chance. Pushing my wind and thunder wings to the absolute limit, I appeared right in front of him in a flash. I blasted a stream of Bai Fang divine fire, severely burning the golden armored Lion King right beside him. No, please don't kill me. I was wrong. I'll never do it again. Zhao Kun dropped to his knees with a thud, desperately kowtowing and begging for his life, looking exactly like Ji Boda did before. Mi Kai walked up to him step by step, her eyes so icy cold there wasn't a trace of warmth in them. The longsword in her hand pointed straight between his eyebrows. Her voice carried the repressed hatred of 2 lifetimes. Zhao Kun, I'm asking you, was my parents' death in my past life your doing? Zhao Kun trembled all over, his eyes darting away, completely terrified to look at her. Speak. Mi Kai's sword aura surged, slicing a shallow cut across his neck. Fresh blood instantly dripped down. I'll talk. Zhao Kun was scared out of his wits and confessed everything. In your past life, it was me. I forced your parents to trade their beast tamer essence and their lives to get the sword immortal emblem. Only your bloodline could activate that emblem. I originally planned to snatch it away once it was activated, but I didn't expect you to take it away by accident. Ji Boda was just a pawn I pushed forward. I was the one who told him to harass you, and I was the one who lured your parents into that high-danger secret realm, leaving them to die tragically at the hands of the monsters. In this life, the accident with your dad at the construction site, that was me too. I just wanted to back you into a corner so you'd hand over the sword immortal emblem. Mi Kai, I was wrong. I was really wrong. Please, spare my life. The third plot twist, the cruelest truth of all, was laid bare right in front of Mi Kai. She stood frozen, her body shaking violently as massive tears rolled down her cheeks. The hatred of 2 lifetimes, the regrets of 2 lifetimes, utterly exploded in this very second. She had always blamed herself for dragging her parents down, but she never imagined that from the very beginning. It was Zhao Kun, this absolute bastard, pulling the strings behind everything. Zhao Kun, you deserve to die. Mi Kai's voice was very soft, yet it carried a bone-chilling frost. A flash of cold light, her sword aura instantly erupted. Zhao Kun's eyes bulged wide, and he stopped breathing altogether. This sick piece of work finally got exactly what he deserved. After finishing off Zhao Kun, I immediately spun around to face the demonic flame giant lizard not far away. This level 100 monster is our biggest problem right now. The demonic flame giant lizard glared at me and let out a furious roar. It couldn't believe that it had been ignored for so long by a newly evolved mythical bird. It opened its massive, bloodthirsty maw, and activated the demonic flame burning the heavens skill once again. A demonic fire several times stronger than before came surging toward Mi Kai and me like an overwhelming tidal wave. Gun, watch out. Mi Kai tightly gripped her longsword. The sword immortal emblem was completely activated. At this exact moment, her level skyrocketed all the way from level 10 to level 30. Sword immortal inheritance from her past life was entirely unlocked. A pale blue sword aura shot straight up into the clouds, transforming into a massive blade of energy that slashed right at the demonic flame giant lizard. Not willing to be outdone, I flapped my wings with everything I had. The Bifang divine fire fused perfectly with Mi Kai's sword aura. The fire fed on the momentum of the sword, and the sword amplified the fury of the fire, instantly tearing apart the sky full of demonic flames. It slammed ruthlessly into the demonic flame giant lizard's body. The monster let out a blood-curdling shriek as the magma scales on its body. The sword aura and divine fire ripped a massive gash right open, sending dark green blood spurting out all over the sand. In an instant, it corroded huge craters into the ground. But man, the healing power of a level 100 fiend is just absurd. In just the blink of an eye, its wounds started healing up rapidly, and the demonic flames grew even more furious. Its weakness is the demon core right between its eyes. Yi Jingchen dragged his battered body up, tossing his short sword over to her. Mi Kai, combine my lifeblood blade with your sword immortal aura, and you can pierce its defense. I'll hold the beast down for you. The second he said that, he charged straight in, using every last drop of his blade essence to physically lock down the demonic monitor lizard's limbs. Even with the demonic fire burning his flesh to the bone, he absolutely refused to let go. Now is your chance. Mi Kai caught the blade. Merging sword and blade together, the aura around her surged to its absolute limit. She turned into a streak of light, driving a vicious thrust right into the demon core between the lizard's eyes. I didn't hesitate to back her up. Channeling all the divine Bifang fire into my beak, I pushed my wind and thunder wings to the absolute max, striking right alongside Mi Kai at the lizard's core. We unleashed our final, desperate strike. The giant lizard's body suddenly stiffened, and the vicious red light in its eyes rapidly faded away. Ding! Devoured level 100 demonic monitor lizard core. Gained 200,000 evolution points. Ding! Devoured the demonic realm's fire essence. Phoenix bloodline completely awakened. Final evolution conditions have been met. Would you like to initiate the final evolution right now? Cost, 200,000 points. Just enough for the final evolution. I looked at Mi Kai beside me, completely covered in wounds, yet still smiling so warmly at me. I looked at Yi Jingchen collapsed nearby, heavily injured but still giving me a thumbs up. Then I looked up at the expanding demonic rift in the sky, and I didn't hesitate for a single second. System, start the final evolution. This time, there was no earth-shattering noise, no heart-wrenching agony. There was only a warm, crimson gold light that wrapped around my body like flowing water. Within that glow, the divine Bifang fire slowly shed its old form, transforming into the purest flames of nirvana. My body gently reshaped itself in the light. Crimson gold phoenix feathers slowly grew out, while long, elegant tail feathers cascaded down like liquid gold. The crest on my head shone brilliantly, and as I spread my wings, the light faded, and I gently landed in front of Mi Kai. I was no longer in the shape of a Bifang bird. Gorgeous phoenix feathers covered my entire body, with the flames of nirvana dancing gently all around me. My spread wings could blot out the sun, and my eyes were filled with a majestic yet gentle power, radiating the supreme aura of a divine beast. I had finally completed my ultimate evolution, becoming the legendary Nine Heavens Phoenix of the Sacred Flame. From a little tumble sparrow who would pass out just from evolving, to the floppy chicken everyone laughed at. Then to the silver-winged Gale Sparrow, the thunder-crested Gale Sparrow, and the divine fire Bifang. Now, at long last, I was the sacred phoenix soaring above the 9 heavens. Mi Kai looked up at me, tears streaming down her smiling face. She reached out and gently stroked my phoenix feathers, with the exact same tenderness as the very first time she forged our pact. Gun, you actually did it. I softly nuzzled against the palm of her hand, letting out a tender, melodic phoenix cry. You silly girl, we did it together. With a powerful beat of my wings, I soared straight up into the sky. Under my command, the flames of nirvana formed into a massive pillar of fire, blasting straight into the demonic rift above us. The pure, unyielding divine fire of a phoenix was the absolute, natural enemy of the demonic aura. In just a matter of moments, the ever-expanding rift was completely sealed shut by the flames of nirvana, and the dark energy swirling inside was burned away until nothing was left. The dark presence in the desert ruins completely vanished, allowing the bright sunlight to finally shine down once more. This demonic invasion that had arrived 3 years too early was entirely crushed by us. 3 days later, at the hospital, I was perched on the window sill of the ward, watching Mi Kai peel an apple for her dad, who was resting in bed. His body had made a total recovery. The toxic venom Zhao Kun had hit him with was completely burned out by my nirvana flames. Even his old, lingering ailments had vanished without a trace. Mi Kai's mom sat off to the side, grinning from ear to ear as she kept eagerly feeding me fresh fruit. She just kept murmuring, "Our sweet Gun is truly a miraculous bird." Next door, Yi Jingchen was resting up in his own ward, his injuries already mostly healed up. He would shamelessly pop over every single day to mooch off their meals, constantly blabbering about how he wanted to party up with Mi Kai for dungeon raids again. He was dead set on taking home the championship at the Global Beast Tamer tournament. As for Zhao Kun, we handed all the evidence of his collusion with the demonic realm straight over to the Beast Tamer Guild headquarters. The guild launched an immediate strike, sweeping up the rest of his cronies and every last demonic spy in one massive raid. They completely purged the human faction of all its traitors, since Mi Kai played a massive role in exposing the conspiracy and neutralizing the demonic crisis. And factoring in the absolutely heaven-defying talent of her sword immortal class, the guild broke all the rules and promoted her to be the youngest Tier 6 beast tamer in history. And me? I became officially recognized worldwide as the one and only divine phoenix. All those losers who used to mock Mi Kai for forming a pact with a floppy chicken? Well, whenever they saw us now, they didn't even have the guts to lift their heads. Those who once looked down on me could only crane their necks and stare up at me in absolute awe. 3 months later, right in the main arena of the Global Beast Tamer Tournament finals, tens of thousands of people in the crowd were screaming Mi Kai's name like absolute maniacs. Out in the center of the arena, Mi Kai stood proudly on my back, her long sword firmly in hand. I spread my true phoenix wings, the flames of nirvana blazing fiercely all around me. As for the opponent standing across from us, he had brought out a frost dragon with level 55 potential. But under my crushing aura, that giant dragon was trembling like a leaf, completely too terrified to even twitch. The referee blew the whistle, and the match began. I merely gave my wings the gentlest of flaps, and a wave of nirvana fire violently swept across the stage. In a flash, it completely halted the frost dragon's ice attacks right in their tracks, trapping the beast tightly within a ring of blazing fire. Mi Kai became a blur of motion, her fierce sword aura sweeping through. It took her only a single strike to completely crush our opponent. The entire stadium erupted in cheers. We had just won the grand championship of the Global Beast Tamer tournament. That night, after the award ceremony finally wrapped up, Mi Kai held me close as we sat on the roof of the tallest building in the city, just quietly watching the millions of glittering lights spread out far below us. The evening breeze gently blew through her hair and brushed against my feathers. It was so incredibly soft. Gun, thank you. She softly stroked my phoenix crest, her voice so tender. If it weren't for you, I might not have been able to protect my family in this lifetime either. Nor could I have stopped the demon realm from falling upon us. I never imagined that the little house sparrow I casually bonded with would become the hero fighting by my side. That you would become my family. I nuzzled my head against her palm, letting out a clear, resonant phoenix cry. Our spirit flames danced gently around us, so warm and cozy, without a single ounce of harm in them. You silly girl, I should be the one saying thank you. If it weren't for you, I'd still be that weak little bird who passed out just from trying to evolve. You gave me a new life. You gave me a home, and the chance to become a true phoenix. In her past life, she fought all alone with the sword Immortal Crest for 10 long years. Yet, she still couldn't stop the monster invasion, ending up with her family destroyed. But in this life, she has the sword Immortal's legacy. Her parents are safe and sound, she has comrades fighting by her side, and she has me. Together, we slaughtered monsters, braved hidden realms, and defeated the villains. We protected this entire city, and kept everyone she wanted to keep safe. As the sun set and a sky full of stars lit up the night, I carried Kai on my back, spread my wings, and soared high into the sky. My phoenix cry echoed through the clouds. Our brilliant crimson and gold flames streaked across the dark night, looking just like the most breathtaking shooting star. In the days to come, there will still be countless hidden realms waiting for us to conquer. There will be endless challenges waiting for us to face. But I am not scared at all, because I know, as long as Kai and I are together, we will never, ever lose. I grew from a frail little tumble sparrow who fainted during evolution, into a fierce, fire-bathed phoenix soaring above the 9 heavens. And she transformed from a betrayed reincarnator, into a sword immortal revered by all. There is truly no better ending in this world than this. You protected me when I was weak, and I will stay by your side for a lifetime. We'll fight together, year after year, and we will never, ever be apart. (430, 102). (430). (102).